Picture this scenario, and I guarantee you've either lived it or watched someone close to you go through it. You walk into a grocery store on Sunday. You're exhausted from working all week. You grab a basket instead of a cart because you only have $30 until payday on Friday. You walk past the family-size cereal box that's $6 and would last you 2 weeks. Instead, you grab the small box for $3.50 that'll be gone by Wednesday. You do this with everything: the small juice, the 4-pack of toilet paper, the individual yogurt cups instead of the bulk container. You get to the register, and you've spent your $30. You leave feeling responsible. You stayed on budget. But here's what just happened. You paid double or sometimes triple what a wealthy person pays for the exact same groceries. Let's say that a small cereal box is $2.10 per pound and the big one you couldn't afford is $4.20 per pound. The big one would last you 2 weeks, but you don't buy it because you don't have enough money at that moment. So you buy the one you can afford now, which is the small cereal box that you'll finish before Friday. And guess what? When it's Friday, you walk into the same store and repeat the same thing. You're literally paying hundreds of % more for Cheerios because you had less money to spend. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is basic economics, and it's slowly draining you dry. Here's what most people get wrong about poverty and spending. They see a poor person buying cigarettes or getting fast food, and they think, see, that's why they're broke. Bad decisions. But what they don't see is the entire economic ecosystem that makes those decisions rational in that moment. They don't understand the concept of the poverty penalty. The poverty penalty is simple. It's the extra cost you pay for everything in life simply because you don't have enough money to pay less. I know that sounds insane. Let me prove it to you with something you use every single day: your bank account. If you have $5,000 sitting in your checking account, your bank gives you free checking. No monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements. But let's say you're living check to check. You've got $87 in your account on a Tuesday. Your streaming service auto-renews for $15. You forgot about it. Now you're at $72. Then your phone bill hits for $80. You're now negative $8. The bank doesn't say, hey, looks like you're short. No, they hit you with a $35 overdraft fee. So that $80 phone bill just cost you $115. You just paid a 43% penalty because you were $8 short. If 3 transactions hit that day, that's 3 overdraft fees, $105 in penalties, for being temporarily $8 short. Meanwhile, the person with $5,000, 0 fees, ever. Last year, American banks made over $15 billion in overdraft fees. Guess who paid almost all of it? People with less than $1,000 in their accounts. The people who can least afford it are funding the entire system. The poor are subsidizing the rich's free checking accounts. But it gets worse. Let's talk about debt. If you have good credit and you want to buy a $30,000 car, you walk into a credit union and they offer you a 5% interest rate. Over 5 years, you'll pay about $4,000 in interest. Total cost? $34,000. Now let's say you have bad credit. Maybe because you had a medical emergency that tanked your score. Same $30,000 car. The only place that'll finance you charges 22% interest. Over those same 5 years, you pay $18,000 in interest. Total cost? $48,000. You just paid $14,000 more than the rich person for the exact same Toyota Camry. That's not a spending problem. That's a poor tax. You are being charged extra money for being poor. Tell me again how the poor are bad with money. And it's not just cars. Credit cards work the same way. The average interest rate for someone with excellent credit is around 16%. For someone with poor credit, 25% or higher. So the person who actually needs help is paying 50% more in interest than someone using their card for airline miles on a vacation. Let's keep going. Housing. This is where the spending gap becomes absolutely obscene. If you're wealthy, you buy a house. Let's say it's a $250,000 house with a 20% down payment. Your mortgage payment is maybe $1,300 a month. And here's the key: you're building equity. Every payment increases your net worth. In 30 years, you own an asset worth probably $500,000 or more. If you're poor, you can't afford the down payment, so you rent. Same neighborhood, similar house. Your landlord charges you $1,800 a month. You're paying $500 more per month than the homeowner next door, and you get exactly 0 equity. After 30 years, you've given your landlord $648,000, and you own nothing. The homeowner paid $468,000 and owns a $500,000 asset. The poor person paid $180,000 more and has nothing to show for it. This is why generational wealth exists. This is why poverty is a trap. You're not just spending more, you're spending more to get less. But here's where it gets psychologically brutal. Studies from Princeton and Harvard show that poverty literally reduces cognitive function. When you're stressed about money, when your brain is constantly calculating whether you can afford gas or groceries, your IQ effectively drops by 13 to 14 points. This is why poor people sometimes make what look like irrational financial decisions. Their brain is maxed out. So when they finally have 20 bucks extra, they buy the fast food because their brain is screaming for relief from constant stress. It's not a moral failing, it's a biological response to chronic scarcity. Let's talk about something nobody wants to admit: the time tax. Being poor doesn't just cost you money, it costs you time. If you're wealthy, you pay your bills online in 10 minutes. If you're poor and your internet got shut off, you have to go to the payment center in person. That's an hour on the bus, an hour waiting in line, an hour back, 3 hours of your life to pay one bill. If you're wealthy, you buy your groceries in one trip to Costco. Bulk everything, lowest prices. If you're poor, you take the bus to the corner store multiple times a week. Each trip is 45 minutes. You're spending hours more time and paying dollars more money. Being poor is a full-time job that you pay for the privilege of working. Every task takes longer, and all that time you're spending just to survive? That's time you can't spend learning a new skill or building a side business. The time tax doesn't just cost you today, it costs you your future. Now let's talk about the poverty premium on everyday items. Diapers. If you have $40, you buy the bulk pack. Cost per diaper, 22 cents. If you have $8, you buy the small pack at the corner store. Cost per diaper, 42 cents. You're paying double because you couldn't afford to pay less. Over a year, that difference is hundreds of dollars. Laundry detergent. The big bottle costs $25, works out to 17 cents per load. The small bottle costs $6, works out to 35 cents per load. Double. Toilet paper, bulk, 50 cents per roll. Small pack, $1.25 per roll. The entire economy is structured to punish you for not having enough money to save money. The game is designed so that being broke costs you extra at every single transaction. Here's the part that makes me genuinely angry: payday loans. If you're wealthy and you need cash, you borrow from your home equity line at 4% interest. If you're poor and you need cash before Friday, you go to a payday loan place. They charge you $15 to borrow $100 for 2 weeks. Let's do the math. If you annualize that fee, it works out to 391% interest. Not a typo, 391. But poor people aren't stupid. They know it's expensive. They're doing it because every other option is worse. The electricity gets shut off. You lose your fridge full of food. The payday loan is the best of terrible options. Let's talk about insurance. If you're wealthy, you have a $1,000 deductible on your car insurance, and your monthly payment is $150. If you're poor, you can't afford to have $1,000 sitting around. So you choose the $250 deductible. Your monthly payment is now $240. You're paying $90 more per month, $1,080 more per year, because you can't afford to have emergency savings. The inability to handle a $1,000 emergency costs you $1,080 per year. So what do we do about this? Here's the brutal truth. You have to sacrifice harder and smarter than seems fair. You have to get angry at the math and use that anger as fuel. Step 1. Track every single poverty penalty you're paying. Write down every fee, every interest charge, every time you paid more for the small size. Get furious when you see the list. That fury is your motivation. Step 2. Prioritize the biggest leaks. If you're paying $140 a month in overdraft fees, your first goal isn't investing. It's building a $500 buffer so you stop paying those fees. That $500 will save you $1,680 a year. That's a 336% return on investment. Show me a stock that can do that. Step 3. Break the cycle on one item at a time. Can you cut everything for 2 months to save $80 so you can buy the bulk laundry detergent and toilet paper? That $80 investment saves you $200 over the year. You just gave yourself a $200 raise. Step 4. Fix the small problems before they become expensive. The weird noise in your car? Fix it now for $150 before it becomes $2,000. The small cavity? $100 filling now, or $1,500 root canal later. The goal isn't to get rich quickly. The goal is to stop bleeding money on the poverty premium. Every fee you eliminate, every bulk purchase you graduate to, every point of interest you reduce, that's money that stays in your pocket. This system is unfair. It's designed to extract maximum money from the people who have the least. But once you see the math, once you understand the game, you can start playing defense. Then, eventually, offense. You can't fix poverty by skipping lattes. But you can fix it by systematically eliminating every poverty penalty until you're no longer paying extra just to exist. If this video opened your eyes to how much extra you've been paying just for being broke, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And hit that subscribe button because we're going to keep exposing these broken systems until everyone understands the real math. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.